To say that I'm unfamiliar with modern or even mid-vintage Pokemon would be an understatement. The last time I played any Pokemon game of any kind was about 20 years ago with Pokemon Emerald, and pretty much all of my knowledge of Pokemon is based on the times that I played the games as a kid. I am the shining example of a Gen 1er. On the other hand, my friend Mr. Fruit is much more of a Pokemon head. He's probably forgotten more things than I will ever learn about Pokemon, having run several complex Nuzlockes of his own and with other people. He's even played the card game competitively. So, after watching him do several Nuzlockes, I thought it would be fun to do one together. A guy who knows everything, and a guy who knows nothing. What could possibly go wrong? Now, because I've never done this before, and this might be watched by people who don't know anything about Nuzlockes, I've written this video to be a bit more introductory to the experience. You'll need some very basic Pokemon knowledge going into it, but that's really about it. However, if you found this video because YouTube recommended it or something like that, or you're already familiar with a lot of Nuzlocke concepts and are just wanting to watch someone make a fool of themselves, don't worry. You could be John Nuzlocke himself, and I still think you'll be able to enjoy the video. You're probably also looking at this video wondering why the hell it's 2 hours when a lot of other Nuzlockes are maybe an hour tops, and that's because I am taking you through the full experience that I had. Captures, notable trainer battles, events, and gym battles. So, what is a Nuzlocke? A Nuzlocke is a challenge run of Pokemon with 3 core rules. Number 1, you can only capture the first Pokemon you encounter in a route or an area. Number 2, if a Pokemon dies, it is out forever. And number 3, if all of your Pokemon in your party die, you have to restart the whole game. There are plenty of other rules that you can choose to use or not use in a run. Our run had over 15 different rules, which I will explain as we encounter them. Some other rules that we have include limited healing in battle and level caps. Another rule is playing on set mode versus switch mode, which intends to limit how and when you can switch your Pokemon around during a battle. Set mode is more punishing, as you can't switch your Pokemon freely after knocking out an opponent's Pokemon, whereas switch mode you can. Not only that, but we have 2 big modifiers, the randomizer and the Soul-Link. The randomizer is just that. It makes almost everything in the game random. Specifically, all the Pokemon that we encounter and their passive abilities are random. Like, I could find a level 3 Mewtwo in some grass. Not only that, but all TMs are random and all items found on the ground are random. Anything can be anything with very few exceptions like HMs or dedicated items. On top of that, we have the Soul-Link. Mr. Fruit and I will be playing our own games individually, but our Pokemon are linked together. If one of them dies, the other one dies with it. If one of them is in the party, the other must be in the party. If only one is captured during a capture encounter and the other is not, then no one keeps anything. I'll fill you in on the rest of the rules as they come up. Some of them are no big deal, like just naming our Pokemon after commenters or chatters, which hardly classifies as a rule to begin with. But some of them, like our typing rule or our species and evolutions rule, very much are a big deal. The game we're going to be playing is Pokemon Black and White. I am on Black. Mr. Fruit is on White. No particular reason for this choice. It's just what Mr. Fruit's community ended up voting on. Also, before we begin, I'm not super up to date on my Pokemon vernacular, so you might hear me say some incorrect terminology during the video. I interchangeably use the phrases ability, which is a passive effect of a Pokemon, and attack, which are your Pokemon's moves. I know that they are different. I call everyone except my actual rival in this game, my rival, and I know that I've messed up the typings of a few Pokemon that I talk about in the run. You can comment about it anyway, but just know that I already know. Let's begin. Things started pretty good for about 30 minutes. We pulled our starter Pokemon, and I managed to get Thundurus, who is apparently some kind of legendary Pokemon. Point is, he's a big deal. And I thought, oh, this is just going to be easy mode for the rest of the run. There's no way that we fail with a legendary on the team this early. Mr. Fruit had to take Krokorok as a result, since we had to stick to either both left, both middle, or both right options. And catching our first Pokemon on the route was uneventful. Unfortunately, this is where the issues began. Mr. Fruit was having tech problems, and his recordings were completely broken. Mr. Fruit has posted every single part of this Nuzlocke on his Pokemon channel, so if you do want to watch the whole thing, check the description. We ended up stopping the run here to see if he could fix his problems, but alas, he could not. We ended up having to wait a couple of weeks before we could restart, and we just decided to start fresh. Attempt number 2 started a bit more tepid than the previous, with me securing a hippopotamus and him a Xatu. Not amazing, but not terrible. After skipping copious amounts of dialogue, we were again faced with our first catch opportunity, a Mankey for me, and Anorith for him. This is where a pretty common theme is going to show up for the early part of our runs. Our complete inability to capture Pokemon. While my capture went without much issue, Mr. Fruit spent all 5 Pokeballs that you get, and none of them worked.
Up and spam, 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 spam.
After getting to town, we had our first real hurdle, a battle with N, the main antagonist of the game. I don't know how well this dude is really doing if he can't afford any vowels for his name, but so be it. My Hippo versus their Hariyama. There was no way I was going to win this one-on-one, so I had to spam Sand Attack and hope that they would miss enough that I could tackle them down, and fortunately that plan worked, although not without some healing required. Let's clear up that healing rule. We're only allowed 2 heals per battle, including fixing status problems. This way we can't just stall out every single fight with tons of healing. However, if one of our Pokemon dies in the middle of a battle, our heals replenish and go back up to 2. Things like held berries didn't count against this rule, but spoilers, I literally never use a berry in this entire run. Entering the grass, I found a Voltorb and Mr. Fruit found a Woobat. Let's clear up another rule. In this run, you're only allowed one of a Pokemon type across both parties. For example, if I have a Psychic Pokemon, we are not allowed to have another Psychic Pokemon in the party. They must go to the PC. If a Pokemon is 2 types, we take the first. The only exception we make is for flying Pokemon, since 99% of flying Pokemon are normal flying, and we get to pick if it's normal or flying. This somewhat controversial custom rule exists to make it not as easy to form a party, but it will come to haunt us down the road. Now, the vibes that I got from Mr. Fruit was that because Woobat is Psychic Flying, and his Xatu is also a Psychic Flying type, that this encounter was just kind of a loss, and we should just hit the GG go next. I misunderstood this. Man, I kind of wanted the Voltorb, dude.
What do you... Wait, why are you killing it?
Because I thought you were like, this is a L, we go next.
No, it's an L as in a bad encounter, but it's still our encounter.
Oh, I thought it was just GG go next. Because I thought you didn't want that. So I was like, all right, we just take the L, we hit on the next one.
We don't have a choice. This is our encounter. Oh.
That's all right. And the next one, you get Mewtwo. It's no thing, man. I was holding out for the good stuff. That's what I thought we were doing.
That's the whole point. It's the first encounter. So like, if it was more of like this could have been better, but this is what we get.
I got the vibe from you that this was like, this is ass, we go next. Well, I misinterpreted the rules.
Yeah, my bad.
That's my bad. I now completely understand that you just capture whatever you get every single time. 2 capture opportunities and 0 new Pokemon added to the team. That being said, Mr. Fruit immediately ran into a Gabite on his next trainer battle, which we could not avoid. Gabite has an ability called Dragon Rage, which for some reason, this guy knows at level 7. Dragon Rage does 40 damage every time, no matter what, and at this low of a level, that's a one-hit kill. The only way that he could have won here was if Gabite did not use this attack for several turns in a row. In the randomizer tool we were using, there was a rule that said no Dragon Rage, but apparently this was only the case when we randomized the movesets that Pokemon could get, which we were not doing. This effectively soft-locked us from continuing unless we broke some rules, which we just didn't want to do that early. So, back to the start. Attempt number 3 gave me Seviper, Beartick, and Rapidash, all respectable choices. Mr. Fruit had Excadrill, Dunsparce, and Finian, so we locked in the left side option yet again. Our first capture attempt consisted of Gothorita, apparently they've made a Goth GF Pokemon, news to me, and Golduck, who I recently learned is not Water Psychic, but rather just Water.
It's a Water type.
I don't hate that. Water Psychic, unless they change that, unless it's just Water now.
Who's gonna tell him?
It's always been Water.
Mandela effect. Yep, he's
The
never been
pre-evolution is Psyduck, Psychic Duck.
and he learns confusion. Yeah, I mean,
What are we talking
wait,
about
wait.
here? What did you get? You got a Gastrodon? Isn't that like a
water type.
gastrointestinal
we got two
disease
waters.
or something? Like, I'm not sitting here for
slowed
5 minutes being like, well, the EVs of this character, the Flavin.
Oh my god, get out of here, bro.
Unfortunately, while Mr. Fruit was able to capture this time, I was not spending all of my Pokeballs fruitlessly. Yet again, we continue with no Pokemon. The battle with N was uneventful. Now we have capture opportunity number 2 of the run, a Scavalier for Mr. Fruit and a lowly Nidoran for myself. But in a stroke of luck, we managed to catch them. But in a stroke of big unluck, both Nidoran and Seviper are poison types, which means this team immediately has to go to the PC. Again, we're stuck with only one Pokemon in our party. We both managed to beat the trainer where we got held up last time, so hey, that's some progress. We made it to Striaton City where the first gym is. In order to access the gym, you need to do one trainer battle first, but we wanted to take some time to level up our Pokemon, and I had a couple of scares leveling my Nidoran up. Water gun does 3.
That one was 3.
Just
What's
hit.
that about?
Just-
Okay, and you're sending
hit.
it. Okay, love it.
Oh my
There you
God,
go.
yes.
Yes, one level. Now run back to mom.
Yeah, immediately,
Mom!
immediately. Yeah.
Just because he used it, he might still just be hardening or something. He's not. He's not.
Don't crit.
Oh my god! Yeah.
Tackled me.
Oh, he's not. Bro.
Oh, and a crit.
Oh, it's a crit. Let's go.
That
I
was
almost lost to a level
That was
2
scary,
shadow
brother.
tag.
Another rule, rare candy leveling is allowed. Rare candy gives your Pokemon a level for free, and there's a cheat code that we used to give us a ton of them. Normally, you would need to manually grind these levels out, which takes a while. I was streaming everything that we were doing, and watching people grind out levels is kind of boring, even if there's a chance that something can go wrong, and I do understand that that is part of the game. But in the interest of time and entertainment, we use them to level. Apparently, this is not terribly frowned upon in the Pokemon community, and I am very thankful for that. If I had all the time in the world to level, then I would manually level. Our battles were pretty uneventful, so we moved into planning for the gym. There's an area that we thought would have some grass, and thus a new chance at a new Pokemon, but we had to get through some trainers first. Mr. Fruit had a scare with one of them, but I would say I had the bigger scare. One of these trainers brought out a Jirachi who could spam healing and had a super effective move against my Nidoran. This is not a fairy? You're telling me this thing is not a fairy?
In a turn or 2, I can't remember which, it's gonna heal.
Okay.
But if it's 2 turns, you'll.
Oh boy. Oh my god, they crit me.
Oh, but you crit. Uh-oh.
And it's gonna heal. I have to moo-moo milk. I have to moo-moo. I have to moo-moo.
You have to moo-moo. You have to
I have to moo-moo.
Okay, the good news is that was a crit.
God, why can I not be faster than this thing, dude?
The fact that it hasn't used confusion is huge.
Oh, please.
Oh, and there you go. Maybe
please.
it's been a speed type. Nice. Holy suck.
Ooh, woo. I did have RNG on my side though, as Jirachi spammed a few too many wishes, and my Nidoran with super luck hit some nice crits. The reason I haven't spoken about my Pokemon's passive abilities, despite me getting some really good ones, is that most of the time, they haven't been alive long enough to matter. So I'll start mentioning them once it's relevant. We run into the third trainer, who actually gives us a free Pokemon. Mr. Fruit got a Patrat while I got a Phanpy, who shares a ground type with Excadrill. So, despite having 3 pairs of Pokemon, we're in a situation where we are still only capable of holding 1 Pokemon each going into the first gym. The highest level Pokemon in this gym is 14. Rule check. Our Pokemon cannot be higher level than the highest level Pokemon held by the gym leader in the gym. If they are above the level cap, you cannot use them until you increase the level cap by beating the gym leader. By the time I got to the leader, Seviper was a whopping level 16, which means they had to go back into the computer until the gym was beaten. If Seviper was only 15 by the time we entered the gym fight, I would have let it slide, but 2 levels above was just a bit much. Out comes Phanpy, who has a horrible moveset. Growl, Defense Curl, Flail, and Takedown. Takedown causes you to take recoil damage, and it's my only good attack. Level 15 Phanpy gets Rollout, which is a great move, but that's above the limit. We have no choice but to go forward anyway. Their first Pokemon is Crawdaunt, who is basically a tank, one of the worst things I could have seen. They can spam Harden for physical defense, but they also had Bubble, which is a water move that Phanpy is weak to, and Vice Grip, which just hits really hard. I was making some progress, but after the gym leader healed it with a potion, I knew that it was pretty much over as I was out of healing myself. It's Jover. It's literally Jover. Keep me at 1. Give me a 1. It's Jover. Literally, this thing is like the perfect counter to this thing.
Oh, God. Fudge!
Perfect counter.
This...
No, there's nothing I can do. There's that one just felt like there's nothing I could do about it.
Why are we fighting for our lives, man?
Attempt number 4. Mr. Fruit gets Octillery, and I get a Rampardos for myself. A pretty nice start, with Rampardos getting a great ability in Guts, boosting my attack if I have a status problem. Things are looking pretty good. And then I found Garchomp, who immediately Dragon Raged me and killed me. Now, because of Dragon Rage being the attack that it is, and this being the opening encounter, I had the ability to get back up, find another Garchomp, and then try to catch it until I either caught it or run out of Pokeballs. And turns out this was a super rare encounter, as it took me dozens of tries to find it on my second and then third attempts. If you haven't guessed the result of this, I didn't capture it. We said that if we had a decent second encounter and could catch something, we would continue. That second encounter was Beautifly and Ipom. Should be no big deal, right? I went through a dozen Pokeballs and I could not capture Ipom. A level 4 Ipom. This is I just spent $2,000 on worthless ass Pokeballs. I'm ruining the ecology of this area. I'm cut the episode. Cut it right here.
Thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching. Lick my attempt number 5. Kofagrigus and Oshawott were the picks, and I immediately die on the first encounter to a crit by a goth girl. Normally, I would be okay with getting crit by a goth girl, but not in this game.
I'm out of Pokeballs anyways.
You couldn't catch the level 2 Quillfish with 5 Pokeballs, red health? What do we do, man? That's like one of the pissiest little Pokemon. Attempt number 6, Breloom and Lampent. Okay, let's see how it goes. First encounter was a Staraptor for Mr. Fruit and an Audino for myself. A miracle happens. We catch both of them, and we can actually have them in our party the first time in 5 hours. Audino gets Water Absorb, an ability that negates water moves and actually heals me, pretty nice, while Staraptor gets Technician. The second encounter gives Mr. Fruit a Rufflet and myself a Lotad. Not great, but Rufflet is a normal flying type, which he already has, so into the computer they go. Lotad has Volt Absorb, which will be nice since Lotad is weak to lightning. Unfortunately, when a Pokemon evolves, which Lotad will do at level 14, their ability is rotated for a different one. I also find an Eviolite, which apparently is super good, raising a Pokemon's stats greatly, but only if they can still evolve into something. I don't have Pokemon for it, though. The free Pokemon we get from the trainer are Cloyster for Mr. Fruit and a Foongus for me. Cloyster's a water type, so straight into the bin, as Oshawott is our water Pokemon. Our teams going into the gym fight were Breloom and Audino for myself, and Cloyster and Lampent for Mr. Fruit. Mr. Fruit's battle was uneventful, despite fighting a Metagross. He killed it in 2 embers, and then one-shot the Magnemite. My battle, not as easy. My first opponent was Wobbuffet, who doesn't really have many moves, only counterattacks. If I use a physical attack and they use counter, I get hit pretty hard. If I use a special attack and they use Mirror Coat, I get hit pretty hard. Fortunately, I had an out with Breloom. Leech Seed would slowly tick away at its health, while spamming Stun Spore would paralyze it and also not trigger Mirror Coat. And it works perfectly. And then in comes the tank, Tangrowth. Also a grass type, in which I have 2 grass move using Pokemon. This thing is almost undamageable. I cannot leech seed it, it's immune. It puts me to sleep immediately and starts using growth, boosting both forms of attack. It has absorb, which isn't very effective against me, but when it's boosted with growth, it does enough damage to make me nervous, and because it's so tanky, it basically shrugs off anything I try to do to it. Audino doesn't fare much better. It has pound, double slap, growl, and refresh, all normal moves, all very tame. I finally get a stun spore to trigger, giving me a glimmer of hope. I just need it to be stunned for a little bit while I hack away at it. And it kinda works. It keeps using Constrict, which doesn't really do that much damage, and Breloom is hitting tackles, but in come the max damage absorbs, hitting me hard. I heal a little bit, and I managed to get it to red health, and just when it looked like I was in the clear, this. Kill. Ah!
Oh my. There ain't.
We were literally,
No
we were on the
way.
cusp. We were on the cusp of greatness. Audino comes in to finish the job, but the damage was done. My starter, and by extension Mr. Fruit's starter, were gone. With Gym 1 down, we grab HM01, otherwise known as Cut, to hack down a couple of trees. A battle with Team Plasma results in me having to fight Reshiram, another legendary Pokemon, into a Regirock. Fortunately, this was a bit of a level diff situation, and I was able to get out of this fight with no casualties. At last, another catch opportunity awaits us, with Mr. Fruit getting a Lantern, and myself a Caracosta, a Pokemon I have literally never seen before. Both of these Pokemon are water types, which means under our rules, one person gets to re-roll their encounter, because otherwise it would just be impossible to have this pair in our party. And Mr. Fruit ends up with a Smoochum. Not great. We capture and throw them into the PC. Moving to Route 3, we have a couple of pretty easy battles leading into our next capture opportunity. And wouldn't you know it, the Ghost of Breloom returns. Reroll the encounter to get the pre-evolved state of Caracosta, another reroll. Finally, Lyran shows up, which I'm pretty happy with. But Mr. Fruit gets Wooper, who I love but is yet another water type, which means this pair, which we do capture, is also banished to the computer. If you're getting frustrated with this one type only allowed situation, don't worry, your time will come. Into the cave we go to progress the plot, and Team Plasma's double battle pits me against Exploud and Mewtwo, yet another legendary to battle. But my rival is my teammate, so I have no control over what they do. I go for Exploud first, as I think they are weaker and thus quicker to get rid of, but they're both still pretty, and my rival's Pokemon gets focused down immediately in a single turn. In to replace Kingler is a Bidoof. They also go down pretty quickly, but at least get a hit or two off before doing so. Audino is also confused, so every so often, this is actually a 3v1. I use Attract, which is a paralyzed type move, but I can only use it on the opposite gender. Wow, real progressive there, Game Freak. It works a couple of times, but I'm still just eating damage. And remember that my only other Pokemon, Fungus, is very weak to Mewtwo's psychic attacks. I'm somehow able to get Exploud out of the picture after using both my healing items, and Mewtwo is on the ropes, but they go first every time. I swap to Fungus, knowing there's a good chance it'll die, but if Mewtwo just uses not confusion for one turn, and Fungus dies. Audino barely hangs on to finish the job. We rotate in Wooper and Lyron and head to the cave for a new encounter. Mr. Fruit finds Spheal, an ice primary type, which is great, we don't have that, but I find a Lopunny, who is a normal type, which we already have in the team in Mr. Fruit's Staraptor. Catch him, throw him in the PC. Some careful navigation to avoid trainers as to not overlevel later, we make it to Nacrene City, and we immediately hunt down our next capture opportunity. And wouldn't you know it, I find Basculin, which I immediately recognize as a fish. It's a fish. It's a damn fish. It's a damn fish, Mr. Fruit. You told me there was Pokemons in the game.
Don't have to tell you it's water type,
This
dude.
is a fish. I would be upset if this wasn't a fish, if this wasn't water. And Mr. Fruit finds a Pidgeot, another flying normal Pokemon. And yet again, we capture them and throw them into the computer. although it cost me about 5 grand in Poké Dollars to make it happen. We continue to train, hunt down items, resupply, and there aren't too many surprises. I go to fight a trainer who sends out a bear tick, level 13. I had just one shot at a bear tick at level 10 in a previous fight with Lopunny, so I wasn't really too concerned and I hit the fast forward on my gameplay. And this would be the worst mistake I would make so far. You see, Beartick used a move called Bide. Bide is where you let your opponent take multiple turns, and then after that, you deal back double the damage that you received. And it just so happens that I get Beartick to literally 1 HP before this attack goes off, meaning I needed to have at least double my current health in order to survive. I did a quick attack after 2 returns, thinking that that would be enough damage, and also thinking that Beartick was just using some stat decreasing or increasing move, completely unaware of my impending doom. Bide goes off, one-shots my Lopunny, and I am stunned. Dude, I literally one-shot a bear last time I fought it.
It was also 3 levels lower. Banned. No speed up for Datto.
My first fast-forward death, and hopefully my last. Mr. Fruit just kind of YOLOs Lopunny's partner Sfeel into an enemy trainer because it's going to be released anyway, and his Wooper takes a big hit before ending the fight. But then, as if the game was saying to just restart the run, Wooper fails to escape a fight against a Donphan 5 times and dies. Mr. Fruit blacks out because Sfeel died, and we've only had 2 Pokemon in our team this whole run. And a blackout means the run is over. What happened? Let's see if ground's good against bug. Hang on, real quick. It's actually not effective. It's actually resistant. Google told me the wrong thing. Okay, hang on. And, okay, then we cut back. All right, I want Mr. Fruit. New starter pairs include Emboar and Magikarp, Azurill and Kingler, 0 for 2 there, and Sunkern and Sawsbuck, who we eventually take. My first encounter is against Uxie, who I learn is a legendary Pokemon. Here's how that went.
Well, no, so I don't know if it's like the newer gens. It should take 1 turn of guaranteed sleep, I think. So if you just get it back into the yellow, then throw it again, that's going to be...
The battle against N begins anew, and it's Mewtwo. Again. Funnily enough, this isn't even the biggest problem, as Mr. Fruit has to fight an Entei with his Sunkern. And the only reason Sunkern even stood a chance is because of its ability, Rough Skin, which deals damage whenever they're hit. Not as fast of a death as I was anticipating, but that's a restart.
My Sunkern against a fire legendary?
Dude, what are these? These are our first fights. When do I get to use Tackle, man?
All right, we win these. Come on, baby. Woo! Oh, great. Okay.
New starters are actually looking great. Celebi and Dustox. Mr. Fruit's other options are Espeon and Leafeon, but mine are terrible, so we take Celebi. First encounter, a Pansear for Mr. Fruit. Great. Excelgor for me, who is also a bug type. Bankum. The battle against N, Mr. Fruit fights a Corsola. Me, Landorus. Another legendary Pokemon. Somehow I win this fight after some healing, even though they are spamming a super effective move against me. The next capture opportunity here is Purlian for Mr. Fruit, and I get...
God?
What's happening right now? What the F is this?
No!
Cobalion.
So,
what is Cobalion?
The reason it had a cool animation is because this is the equivalent of running into like Entei, Raikou, or Suicune.
Yeah.
Because they're a roaming legendary. You're not catching this thing.
The odds are against me to capture this thing, but we're gonna try. I need to get it weak, so I blast away with some confusions, and without fail, on the very last one that I was going to cast, it gets confused. We are now on the clock. I have 1, maybe 2 attempts. I throw my Premier Ball.
Fuji, come on, mate, no! The one time you confuse?
I know.
That's just cruel.
Oh my god. So close. It somehow survives hitting itself in confusion, and we get another try. But it immediately pops out and kills itself. Cool. We get to the first city and hit the 2 trainer gauntlet for the free Pokemon, and both of us are in the battles of our lives. I have a bug Pokemon versus a Steelix that hits for 1 damage. Mr. Fruit fights a Kecleon, a grass type, who should be no problem for Pansear, a fire type, but they have Flash Fire, which negates Pansear's only strong attack. While Pansear does win that fight, it does not win the fight against a double kick used by a Terrakion. We only have 1 Pokemon in our team. Restart. I have to save something for the next one.
There's nothing to save.
Oh, you're
yeah,
dead.
That's what I meant when I was saying, like, don't worry about yours. The first Pokemon has Flash Fire to absorb my fire attacks. And then they bring out a Rock Legendary.
I think for our own sanity, we need to break some rules. Like, the luck... Here's the luck has just been so bad. Like, there's no way our luck has been this terrible. Heatmore and Gyarados is our new team. The best I think we've had so far. Only issue, Gyarados only knows Thrash, which deals very high damage for a couple turns in a row, and then the Pokemon confuses itself. However, I did not know this, not anticipating that a level 5 Gyarados would learn such a powerful attack this early and proceed to annihilate this level 2 Pelipper for our first capture opportunity. Knowledge checked on that one. The end battle is finally easy, so the next capture chance is here. An Unpheasant for Mr. Fruit, and a Nidoqueen for me, another great pair. Mr. Fruit has no problem, and I wish I could say the same. Nidoqueen poisons me, putting me on the clock, but I can't attack it because the odds are high that I will kill it with Thrash. So I just have to chuck out raw Pokeballs and hope for the best. And I'll let you guess what happens here. And smash cut to being at 4 HP. I'm poisoned. We have 2 options. YOLO a ball and hope that we catch, or the more optimal move to keep the run alive, run away. In the spirit of just not trying to throw the Nuzlocke, I decide to run. I think that's my best option as well. Couldn't get away.
Oh, I'm cramping.
I just gave Nidoqueen my wallet.
I'm cramping.
This Nidoqueen just came up and said, give me your lunch money. After 9 or so hours, we're back at square one. You're however long you are into this video. You could have started here and missed nothing but agony. Starters. Mr. Fruit has a rule. If one of your pairs ever match in type, you re-roll them, as technically they're not allowed to be in your party. But for some reason, he re-rolls even if you aren't picking that pair. I ask why, and he says he's just always done that. And I tell him it's time to break the cycle because we got Togekiss and Drifblim, and apparently that's awesome. Mr. Fruit gets some insane moves on Togekiss. Sky Attack, a super strong flying type move. Extreme Speed, which is like a giga quick attack and goes first no matter what. Air Slash, another great flying move. And Aura Sphere, which always hits. His ability is Oblivious, making him immune to being infatuated. Not terrible. Drifblim gets some decent attacks too, but is a ghost type, a pretty rare typing at the end of the day. Own Tempo means Drifblim never gets confused. Great ability. Our first capture attempt gives us Leddyba and Simisear, an actual usable pair. And for the first time in forever, not only do we capture the duo, but we can keep them on the team. Finally, a run with some life ahead of it. Funnily enough, Leddyba gets Serene Grace, which normally is the ability that Togekiss gets to increase the odds of crits, flinches, and other things. Simisear gets immunity to poison. Not bad. One end battle later, we're on to our next capture opportunity. We get a Bingle.
And it's a Bingle.
And a Ghastly for me, a ghost Pokemon. I don't recall even seeing 2 ghost Pokemon across all encounters in a single run up until this point, but in this run, 2 out of the 3 we can capture a ghost. I call a lot of Pokemon Bingle in this run, as you'll start to hear. A Bingle, to me, is a small, sometimes cute, preferably round Pokemon. It's now time to break a rule, that one type only rule. We are now allowing one pair to break the rule. however they want, a wild card exception. After too many failures, horrible luck, and not wanting to waste any more of people's time, we decided to ease up some restrictions to maybe get a deep run going. We make it to the city, head to the trainer gauntlet. I eventually fight back-to-back legendaries in Articuno and Cresselia, but I come out unscathed. Our free Pokemon from the trainer are Stoutland for Mr. Fruit and Corphish for myself, another usable pair. If we weren't breaking rules, this would be the first legit time that we could have 3 Pokemon in the team. We're now at 4. We are now the strongest we have ever been going into the first gym battle. The battle begins. I one-shot Whimsicott. Stoutland, I can't say Whimsicott, okay? I can't say it. It's weird to say. Stoutland pops out, so I switch to Drifblim. My logic, Stoutland is a normal type, so they probably only know normal moves, which Drifblim, a ghost type, is immune to. Mr. Fruit tells me to not do that because it knows Bite, a dark type move, which Drifblim is weak to and could potentially be one-shot by. And wouldn't you know it, that's exactly what happens, so I'm dead. Except I'm not. I'm immune. How? How does this happen? One of the only ways that this could have happened is if Stoutland has the ability Normalize, which turns all of their moves into normal type moves, which ghost type are immune to. My research says that there are over 150 abilities in Black and White, so we hit a 1 in however many chance of this happening. But Stoutland has Odor Sleuth, which means that their normal attacks can now hit me. After switching to Ghastly, they have to do that again to hit me, so I use that time to inflict it with Curse, and all I need to do is just keep switching back and forth to win. And after a full week's worth of recordings, we are back to exactly where we started the previous week. I am also randomly gifted the TM Slack Off, which is a healing move. But I also learned that apparently TMs are not one-time use items anymore. When did that happen? Isn't the whole point that you need to make a very deliberate decision about who to teach a TM to? We'll talk about TMs pretty soon. We head back to the trainer gauntlet to cut the tree, progress the plot, and get a new capture opportunity, and boy is it a big one. Charizard for Mr. Fruit, and Slowking for myself. Normally this team wouldn't be allowed, but because of the wild card pair that we are now allowing, we make some rotations to the team so that Slowking and Charizard are allowed. Bingle and Ghastly are PC bound, and we are off to the next section with 4 Pokemon on the team. Things are looking good. Dare I say, too good. At this point, we turn on a cheat code. No XP gains at all. We have completely turned off XP, and we will be solely leveling through rare candy usage. We had the problem of fighting too many trainers and doing too many battles where our Pokemon were smashed up against the level cap basically all of the time, and there was a chance that we would run out of eligible Pokemon to use at this rate. Our next encounter is a Bingle and a Chimchar, who I erroneously think is the evolution of Simisear. How many monkeys made of fire could Pokemon possibly have that are independent evolution lines? Apparently it's 2.
I gotta reroll.
Oh, why you gotta reroll?
Isn't this the pre-evolution of this dude?
No, that's way cooler.
This is a different thing to this.
Yes.
After some uneventful battles with Team Plasma, we have another capture opportunity, Mr. Fruit getting a Ducklet, and I find a Regirock, who is kind of a big deal, but Regirock has a move called Explosion, which self-destructs Regirock and deals massive damage to me. The odds are terrible that I can capture this thing as well. I make a switch to a Ghost Pokemon, who is immune to normal attacks, which is what Explosion is, and as soon as the switch rolls in, Regirock explodes. Unfortunate that we couldn't capture, but fortunate to not be down arguably our best pairing in Slowking and Charizard. In this cave, I also find the TM for Extra Sensory, pretty good psychic move. I make the call that I think TMs in this run should be one-time uses only. This way, a more deliberate choice would have to be made about when you use a TM instead of just spamming them on everyone. I teach Extra Sensory to Slowking right away, choosing to invest into them now. HMs can continue to be used an unlimited amount of times though. The rest of this route is also uneventful. Despite XP being turned off, we still decide to take on a few fights as part of the experience normally would have you fighting a certain amount of trainers. Dodging all of them goes against the spirit of the game, at least to me it does. Mr. Fruit has no problem taking on basically all of them, but since I'm still a bit of a noob, I don't fight as many. Mr. Fruit finds a fossil, so if I find one myself, that's a free encounter opportunity as the next gym has the ability to convert fossils into a Pokemon. Our next capture encounter has Mr. Fruit's Gothita to my Crobat, who we capture without issue. On to gym number 2. The second gym's final puzzle held us up for maybe a bit longer than it should have. Just spaces? What? From this bookshelf,
you're struggling here too,
move 2 backward.
Doesn't matter.
Here's my guess is we just have to fight this child. We also had quite a scare with one of Mr. Fruit's battles.
And that is why we don't keep Ledian in the front. Or use him ever.
Or anywhere. What's happening? 1 HP. But the actual gym leader battle itself is probably one of the easiest we've had in 15 hours of playing. Their highest level Pokemon was Magikarp. Gym 2 is complete. Progress is finally being made. Our next capture opportunity is a pretty strong combo. Rhydon and Braviary, which somehow also goes very smoothly, although they are banished to the PC for now. Mr. Fruit's Charizard knows Dragon Rage now, which, as we learned, deals 40 damage every time, so at this point in the game, he's not really going to have too many problematic fights. I'll keep you posted on close calls, but so far, nothing too stressful for now. We fought our way through the trainer and Team Plasma Gauntlet to continue the story, and I managed to find a fossil, which means we get a freebie back at the second gym. Mr. Fruit cracks open his fossil, and he gets...
Here's the thing, too, is like after 2.5 months... What?
Come in with some heat, Datto. Come on.
Imagine just like going to a museum and being like, we turned your fossil back into a dinosaur. That can't be good. That cannot be good.
Wait. No, I have a Bingle. That's it. That's a dupe. You get a re-encounter.
Yeah, even I know Groudon. Meanwhile, my pull is not as good as I get the evolved form of Bingle. But because Mr. Fruit already has the pre-evolved version of Bingle, that means I get to re-encounter my fossil. So the next time we would get a capture opportunity, we'll do one for the encounter that we would normally get, and then I will do my reroll. Finally, we're off to Castelia City, where the third gym is. Apparently, this transition sequence going 3D and all that was a pretty big deal back in the day, and as someone who only played 20 years ago, I will admit it looks kind of neat. We explore, we progress, we get a new encounter, Octillery and Celio, a water and ice combo that will promptly go into the computer. Then I re-encountered to see what would be paired with Groudon, and I find a Glaceon. Pretty good all things considered, and this pair could actually exist in our team as a ground-ice combo. I put it to sleep, and I capture it no problem. We finally have a full team of Pokemon. After some item hunting and story progression, we head back to the city to start the third gym. This batch of recordings we have done had gone really smoothly, so I had some choice words before we continued.
We're on the same.
It's been almost a week, and we're kind of crushing.
We're on the same attempt. Nobody's died.
Yeah. I want to keep it that way.
I'd meet them.
Here's the thing. I do want to keep it that way for my personal achievement, but if there was some drama, I wouldn't say no to that either. For the most part, the third gym was not much of a challenge either. The gym battle was Ludicolo, Delibird, and Nuzleaf, the Pokemon that Nuzlocke was originated from. A couple of flame bursts from my Simisear ended this real quick, and we were off to the desert to move on. Again, more uneventful battles, at least for Mr. Fruit it was uneventful. He's got Charizard with Dragon Rage. He's got Togekiss with all of its insane moves. He just got a Groudon. Nothing phases him, not even this Reshiram.
Finally a worthy opponent.
I don't have the smoothest experience in the world comparatively, but I don't find anything too brutal either. The most eventful thing of this section is that I learned that this giant robot-looking guy who looks like they belong in the depths of Ulduar is a ground ghost Pokemon. Golurk.
Give the guess.
Steel. Not rock.
Nope.
Dark.
Nope.
Fighting?
Nope.
What else could it be? Electric? It's not
Nope.
Ground?
And?
And there's an and here. Ground psychic.
Nope.
It's a ground ghost.
There you go.
This fight gets a little scary, though, but we win these. I ran all the way here to get a TM, and it was sweet scent. So, terrible. Although, an NPC later on gives me Zap Cannon. Horrible accuracy, but if it hits, it's big damage, and it inflicts paralysis. A new capture encounter for us gives us Meryl and Spinda, a combo that we can't actively use, but not a combo we were looking to use anyway, captured and stored. Another one gives us Credilli for me, and it's a Bingle. That is a Bingle-looking ass Pokemon, captured and stored. One of Mr. Fruit's next encounters was a Ho-Oh, just that close to another legendary. During this time, I find a metronome and leftovers, great items for my mons to hold, with leftovers apparently being one of the best things you can get here. I throw that onto Drifblim immediately. We continue on to another area that has an NPC literally just giving away fossils. That's another fresh encounter for us, but we'll need to head back to the second gym to get those uncovered. I also managed to pick up another fossil at some point. I'm literally losing track of all the fossils. So we start to head out, and I encounter a sock. Before that encounter, though, I had switched Glaceon into the lead spot, thinking that Glaceon was a fast Pokemon. I had it in my head that Eevee and Eevee evolutions are fast Pokemon. I could have just checked the speed of my Pokemon, but I didn't, as checking the stats of my Pokemon was something I literally never did as a kid. There's a lot of what would 12-year-old me do in this situation going on in this game, because Pokemon has always been a very easy game in my experience. I also had it in my head that ice Pokemon are generally strong, as it is a rare typing, at least it used to be. I don't know if it actually is anymore. In reality, I think they're pretty average, having 4 things they're strong against and 4 things that are strong against it. One of these is fighting, unknown to me at the time. So me, thinking that I have a speed advantage and a 3-level advantage, opt to run away. It's kind of cool. It's Karate Man. Couldn't get away. I'm scared. I'm scared. I'm scared.
You're weak to fuck. My brother, that's you could have literally lost anybody else. Anybody.
Glaceon was actually one of my slowest Pokemon and one of my most vulnerable. Literally all I had to do was just look at the stats. I didn't even care about my Glaceon. Do you know who that was paired with? Groudon. Mr. Fruit's ticket to Easy Street. Gone. We went back to the second gym for our fossils, and I almost lose another battle to a Flygon that is 9 levels lower than me. Okay, who decided to put Ghost and Dragon next to each other on the type chart and put them basically the same color? I'm trying to do the best move. Am I gonna go first? Or this guy's gotta be fast. He's a dragon. He's going fast. He's going so fast. Tell me he's going fast. Tell me he's fast, Mr. Fruit. Payback. He's gotta be faster. He's gotta be faster. He's not faster. How am I faster? This is a dragon. You're with wings. Doesn't affect me. Lick my ass, Flygon.
Nearly like 75% higher in levels.
Yeah, well, guess what? I almost died. My other guy almost died too, crit. Mr. Fruit's fossil is a Golett, the pre-evolved version of Golurk. Not terrible, but not Groudon. I get Stantler, a normal, maybe slightly above average to average Pokemon. They are thrown into the PC immediately, but Mr. Fruit wants to see what other Pokemon I get from my other fossil. I can't use it until Mr. Fruit gets another fossil though. And it's Throw. So you know how Gen 1 had Hitmonlee and Hitmonchan? Throw is the Hitmonchan to Sock's Hitmonlee. It hasn't even been 30 minutes, and the game is rubbing this death in our faces, and it's not gonna let up anytime soon. What the hell is this? Is this a pile of garbage?
Looks like half my team. Yes.
What is it? Tell me it's poison.
Yeah, it is.
Our next session begins with 3 captures after getting to the next city. Duskull for me, Slugma for Mr. Fruit for Encounter 1, and Gen 1er's about to go crazy because it's Eevee and Squirtle for Capture 2, and Steelix and Lotad, yet another combo we can't use right now, for Encounter 3. We're off to the 4th gym. We have some trainer battles ahead of us, but it hasn't really been a big deal until this. Palkia. Kind of a big deal. I have almost nothing to deal with this at all. Palkia is a water dragon type. I have no grass, no electric. And it's a dragon. I have no ice or other dragons to use. And it's Palkia. It's a legendary, so their stats are beefy. I send out Slowking since he's the only one who I feel has a chance, but I'm immediately hit with a slash that crits, and now I only have 1 heal left, which is almost negated completely by another slash. Extrasensory does okay, but I'm going to need 3 more. Slowking is in trouble. A swap to Crobat doesn't help as they are immediately hit with an attack, bringing them to half. Also, Palkia knows Power Gem, which is a rock move, which flying is weak to. Keep in mind that I have not been looking up any information about any Pokemon basically this whole time. I don't know movesets. I don't know stats. I barely know weaknesses. I'm just running on whatever happens to be in my brain at the time. I will eventually start doing some research, but not now. I send out Corphish, who is essentially a sacrificial lamb at this point. They get a Vice Grip off for a little bit, but they are knocked out by Ancient Power, another rock move which has a 10% chance to boost all of the Pokemon's stats on use, and it triggers. I do get my heals recharged though, so at this point we make the decision to send out Drifblim and try to heal Slowking. Drifblim stands no chance against another Ancient Power, and it rips all 71 HP away, but at least I heal Slowking. Fortunately, the game shows some mercy as I'm able to yawn and put Palkia to sleep while it uses Aqua Tail on me, even though it still hits me for like a third of my health every time. I'm able to whittle down the Palkia, but with 2 Pokemon being sacrificed in the process. It is at this point that Mr. Fruit and I need to go back to the drawing board and completely revamp and restock our team. I had it in the back of my mind that we probably should have been doing this a little bit sooner, but things were going so smoothly that I just let it slide. And after this revamp, I thought I had a much more well-rounded team than previously. Slowking and Crobat stayed in the team, but new to the squad was Braviary, Celio, Monferno, and Credilli. Mr. Fruit maintained Charizard and Ledibba, but was now joined by Rhydon, Exploud, Octillery, and Masquerain. Slowking and Charizard are our wildcard typing pair. We both head into the gym and start the gym leader battle. Let's start with me. Their first Pokemon is Grumpig, a psychic Pokemon. I start with Braviary, one of my harder hitters, and a couple of aerial aces brings them to red health. Grumpig immediately Hyper Potion to full. No big, I just do it again. Well, I get confused and I hit myself twice. All of a sudden, Braviary is on the brink. I swap in Celio, who not only gets a Quick Claw activation, but crits on the Aurora Beam. Again, red health. Again, Hyper Potion. I use Super Potion, and I bring out the King, trying to resist some of the Psy Beams going out. The King gets confused and bashes their own face in multiple times. They finally manage to land a Yawn on the same turn that Grumpig uses Mirror Coat, which is a move that reflects status impairing moves. So I yawned myself to sleep. Cool. Are you? Okay. In comes Credilli, who immediately gets clocked with a crit Psybeam and gets confused. I use my other heal on Credilli. I have Ingrain, which is a move that heals me every turn, but it prevents me from swapping. I don't want to use it though because this fight has not been going well. But finally, I managed to bring the pig down with some astonishes. Out comes Armaldo, who is not Steel. Is Armaldo Steel?
He is Bug Rock.
This is a bug. Another Pokemon I really don't have a great answer to. Celio comes out and is in dire need of help. I toss out a water gun and Celio immediately dies to a Metal Claw. That seems kind of dumb. Why leave in Celio to die like that? Well, on the other side of the board, Mr. Fruit is fighting a Kyogre, and the Pokemon that Celio is matched with is gonna die. So I just try to pump any damage I can into this thing, and out comes Monferno to finish the job. The final Pokemon is Glameow, which is just a normal type, who is handled very easily by Crobat. I'm done with technically one Pokemon down, but it would have been lost anyway. Mr. Fruit is fighting a Kyogre and has spent 20 minutes planning and calculating and all this other Pokemon nerd math stuff. The problem is that Kyogre is at what he believes to be around 40 HP. 40 HP and under could just be won by a Dragon Rage, but if he brings Kyogre to red HP, the gym leader will heal and the run is completely over. Pretty much all of his other Pokemon have no chance. It is decided that Masquerain will get in a weak attack to get Kyogre to Dragon Rage range, guaranteed, which happens. The problem now is that if he swaps Charizard in for the kill, Kyogre will hit with Muddy Water, a water move, and probably outright kill Charizard, so the Zard needs to be swapped in a way that makes it so it won't lose its turn, which means Masquerain must die, and that's what happens. But we didn't even check to see if Charizard is faster than Kyogre. This might all be for nothing.
I did not look to see if I'm faster, but I also didn't bother doing that because I knew if I wasn't, I'm probably dead anyway.
Yeah, this is like your only choice.
Okay. Okay.
I think
We're not done.
I think we made the right call.
Oh.
Landorus. Dude, come on, man.
I think it's over.
And in comes Landorus, who throws a boulder at Charizard, bringing it to near death. Anticipating that the computer will use another rock throw against Charizard, Mr. Fruit switches to Rhydon, who shrugs it off. They then use some really stupid moves, and Rhydon is able to stomp and rock blast to victory.
Let's go,
We're alive, baby. More casualties, we're alive. We're alive. Oh my god.
Can we go back to last week where nothing happened for 5 episodes?
I know. It was sooner or later something had to happen.
We just spent this whole episode fighting this one boss.
The 4th gym is done, but with more heavy losses and another recalibration of the team is needed before we continue. The team recalibration ends up with me having Braviary, Crobat, Monferno, Slowking, and Wartortle, with Mr. Fruit having Rhydon, Slugma, Exploud, Eevee turned Umbreon, and my script literally just says something here. I guess I forgot. I'll put it on screen, whatever. We are slowly starting to run out of Pokemon in the bank, and it's not going to get any better anytime soon. In moving to the next city, I start a rival battle. While their first Pokemon is handled easily, the second is very much not. Eelektross. Eelektross is an electric Pokemon. I currently have 2 water and 2 flying Pokemon. My only other is a fire Pokemon who gets hit for half health when Eelektross attacks with Discharge. It is at this moment that I think the run is over, and Mr. Fruit needs to bust out the TI-84 Plus to see if we can even get out of this. Yeah, okay, it's electric. What can I put out? I have a flying, I have a flying, I have a water, and I have a water, Mr. Fruit. So what would you like me to do?
You might have an electric weakness.
After much deliberation, he tells me that my Slowking should be able to survive a couple of hits. He tells me this thinking that my Slowking has a much higher special defense than it actually has. Due to its nature, which is a trait a Pokemon has when you capture them, my Slowking's special defense is actually even lower than the calculator would allow for. How do you think that went?
Barring no crits, of course.
Oh, yeah,
watch
crit.
this. Look at the brain on this fella. Oh, my.
Mr. Fruit, you want to put some new batteries in that calculator? You want to put some new batteries in that calculator, Mr. Fruit?
Level 24, 0 EV Eelektross versus your Slowking.
Yeah.
With 81 special defense. I think that's what it had.
I don't know if it had 81, brother. Bro, it has 66.
Oh, 60. Do you have special defense down? Special defense down nature?
I don't know what that is. I send out Crobat next because my only real hope is to confuse it and hope it hits itself in confusion. I do confuse it. It does not care. It crits me, and Crobat dies in one hit. Bro, it's not a crit. I'm just dead. That was a crit. Never mind. Okay, I thought it showed crit first, then super effective. What do? I got 2 birds, and I got 2 turtles. And electric is only good. Can I bring this one up? Electric is only good against 2 types, water and flying.
its ass against everything else, and that's all I have.
At this point, I really don't have any options remaining other than just hope. Monferno can't be healed because any heal will be immediately negated, so instead I just full send some damage, hoping for a confusion proc, which just never comes. Monferno is down, but in its dying breath, it actually burns Electros. We just gotta run out the clock. Braviary goes in, and my best choice is to hit it with Fury Attack. And in what can only be a Pokemon world first, my Fury Attack actually hits all 5 times that it can.
I thought you were going to
1,
miss, and I was going to
2,
throw my DS.
3, 4, 5, baby! Live! Live! God damn it! Live!
No!
How are you never confused?
No crit!
Live!
Okay!
It's paralyzed. Fortunately, the next 2 Pokemon aren't as big of a threat, but still annoying. I learned that this Pokemon, the one that looks like it's in a shell made of steel, named Shelgon. What is this? Steel? Is this steel?
Not even close.
It's not. This is not steel? It's a dragon. It's a dragon Pokemon. So F me, I guess. I heal up thanks to my heals being refreshed from my other Pokemon dying, and I get some lucky non-paralysis to finish things off after a Clefairy shows up. I immediately get pulled into a double battle, but my Pokemon are thankfully healed. In this case, it means my Braviary is no longer paralyzed, and the only other legal Pokemon I have is Wartortle. It's Braviary and my rivals Palpitoad versus, you gotta be kidding me, Vanillux and Slacking. This ice cream cone looking thing is an ice Pokemon, which is super effective against Braviary, and Slacking is usually held back by its ability Truant, which makes him skip every other turn. But in our randomized game, his ability is random, so there is nothing holding him back. But they use a bunch of garbage that don't really help, and we're able to clean things up without too much trouble. But we're now down another 3 Pokemon, so back to the Pokemon Center to recalibrate the team again. The team is now Braviary, Wartortle, Simisear, Ghastly, who is now Haunter, and Lotad, now Lombre. Mr. Fruit has a Rhydon, Umbreon, Steelix, Lediba, and Bingle. Also, apparently I had unfossiled the wrong fossil way back when, since I had multiple when I did it, so I swapped the 2 for the correct one. We make our way to the Driftvale drawbridge for another capture opportunity based on these shadows on the ground. Mr. Fruit gets an Ariados, I hope I'm saying that right, and I get a Mime Jr. We already have a bug Pokemon, and we already have a wildcard team, so we can't use this. But, speaking of Truant,
just getting the ball, brother. Like, oh my God.
We will never use this pair. We hit Driftvale City, and yeah, you guys were right. This music is a bop. We find another capture opportunity, landing on Tynamo and Stunky.
Something good. That is a Bingle.
Who can actually join the team, and they do. We get another opportunity when we find what we thought was supposed to be a random encounter, but was actually a Fungus. So the real encounter that we get to do is, well, look at that. Glaceon. Now, normally I would be able to re-roll this if I wanted to, since I've already had Glaceon in the team, and they've moved on, but I opt to try to capture it anyway, and I do. And wouldn't you know it, Mr. Fruit finds a mon that was double. Oh my God. Okay, now I have to catch it. Another legendary. I capture without much issue, but Mr. Fruit's on the struggle bus. I've been told that this is a super, super low chance of capture, even with it at very low health.
We're in it, baby! Yeah!
2 Glaceons, 2 legendary Pokemon paired with it. I am basically never going to use Glaceon unless it is my only option going forward, mainly because I'm too scared to use it given who it is paired with. A trip to the Pokemon Center later, Mr. Fruit runs into a trainer, and in solidarity, I run into the same one, and come on, man!
I appreciate you fighting that guy. Oh.
No more solidarity. No more solidarity ever.
You know what's
Every
funny
man for himself. Braviary and it trade some big hits. I'm afraid of a crit though. I send out Stunky in an attempt to poison it with Toxic. This was a fatal mistake. It's immediately one-shotted by a crit. We had this pair maybe 30 minutes. My plan was to just Toxic and then bail, and maybe if there wasn't a crit, it would have worked. I send out Lombre to tank a hit. The reason I originally didn't send it out is because I thought that Lombre just kind of sucks purely based on vibes.
Oh, yeah. See, Lombre resist everything we've mentioned so far.
Yeah, but he sucks. This is not the case, as Mega Drain is actually effective against water, and Palkia's water moves are incredibly weakened against Lombre. Actually effective is very generous because it takes several drains to kill it, but it does the job. I'm already taking so much time trying to look at typing charts and matchups, and I'm still making these horrible mistakes just as I thought I was making some progress. We get yet another capture opportunity and make it to some darker grass, which gives the potential for a double battle, which we both get. Yo, you got a Diglett and a Doug trio. What the F? That's so cool.
Like, are you kidding me?
That's so sick.
But actually, what are the odds?
Dude, that's so sick.
I'm not Paga. Like, what?
And I get Lileep and Ammonite. The rules here say that we must kill the one that we are not capturing first before we attempt to capture the other. Now, my thought process here is the following. And you already know that things are going to go badly when I say things like my thought process here. The thought was, Lileep probably survives a hit from Braviary, so I'll finish it off with Lombre's Drain. That leaves Ammonite by itself. Lileep is rock grass, which is both weak to and resistant against flying, so it's net neutral. I let an aerial ace fly, and this thing went down like a ton of bricks. Crit. Killed. One hit. Which means Drain now has a new target, Ammonite, which my Gen 1ers out there know is a water type, which is weak to grass. Dead. It got critted. It shitted, and then it critted. It crit. It crit.
Why would you ever click a ×4?
I thought you said it was rock. Hang on. I thought you said it was bug rock. Oh, grass rock. I didn't know that. I thought it was.
We're down another encounter.
I thought you said bug rock, and it was grass rock.
We have had 3 encounters this episode. We caught one, which was true on Ariados. We got our second, which I was excited to get, Electros. Oops, killed. And our third, we don't even catch.
To be fair, this is the first time in a while that I've blown a capture opportunity. We've been on a pretty hot streak, but still pretty annoying nonetheless. We head into a giant cold storage building to fight off Team Plasma, and it mostly goes without incident thanks to a new typing chart that I started using, which was much easier to read. And also, I started to consider the fact that a Pokemon's stats do indeed actually matter. For regular Pokemon players, this seems kind of like insanity, but for me, who is still stuck in 2 decades ago gameplay, this is a big step when 12-year-old me never looked at stats ever. That being said, I still don't want this to be a spreadsheet calculator run on every battle. I do want to succeed, but it's a bit more thrilling when you do some quick mental math and see what happens. We'll see how long that philosophy lasts. I also start actually paying attention to my Pokemon's abilities, like Storm Drain on my Bravery, which negates all water damage. This is where I feel like I take a more notable improvement in my gameplay. I reach Team Plasma and Raikou. Would you look at that? Another electric Pokemon of which I still have no good counters. I do a quick stat check to see who has the best special defense, and of course it's Glaceon, who I'm not willing to risk, as it's paired with Giratina, who has just been absolutely stomping everything into the ground for Mr. Fruit. In fact, until I mention otherwise, you can assume that Mr. Fruit is coasting on his run thanks to Giratina. I'm talking minimal to no struggle at all. The only way I use Glaceon is if it is a sure thing, which it almost never is. Lombre gets sent out as they have the best chance, and the Raikou wasn't actually that much of a threat at all, it turns out. Not even getting me to half HP while I blow some bubbles in its face. The rest of the battles, uneventful. Who would have thought? Stats. Kind of important. The 5th gym is now open, and I am almost immediately accosted by yet another Pokemon ending in us. Of course. Why? Why? It's electric. Boogie woogie woogie. I have no good counters. I end up sending out Simisear, who tanks a couple of revenge hits and is able to two-shot it with Flame Wheel. Crisis averted. A Golem almost takes out 2 of my Pokemon, but I'm able to one-shot it thanks to a 4x effective Water Pulse from Wartortle. Braviary's been doing most of the work otherwise, just chaining as many aerial aces together as possible unless they're weak to the enemy. Finally, I can start doing a little bit of coasting on some of these easier battles. The 5th gym battle isn't terribly intense. Drapion uses Toxic Spikes, meaning any Pokemon I rotate in will be poisoned, but not Simisear, who has an ability that makes him immune to poison. Drapion goes down without much issue before I switch to Simisear, who then destroys Gothita. Bingle shows up. It's a Candle Pokemon, I guess, Ghost Fire. I use Lick as it's 2x effective, but Simisear gets hit with a Future Sight attack from a dead Gothita. Kinda thought Gothita being dead would have prevented that from happening. What the hell do I know? I swap in Ludicolo, who gets poisoned. It's no matter though, as a Bubble Beam finishes the job, and badge number 5 is now secure. In my constant state of paranoia, I make sure to heal before continuing on, as I blissfully ignore Mr. Fruit tell me that there's a trainer battle as I start to leave the city. They sent out another Tornadus! Oh my god, would you look at that? It's another friggin' genie, who I still know is the only mono-flying type Pokemon in the game, which is more of a fun fact and not really any strategic information for me. I brute force it down with some aerial aces and slashes, and break what has felt like an for a lifetime streak of hitting myself in confusion. The rest of the battle is just switching around the right Pokemon, and this battle's over. Into Charge Stone Cave we go. We get the HM Fly. Who do you think I taught this to? If you said Ludicolo, you're correct. My TM was nothing special, although Mr. Fruit gets Sacred Fire. In the most unceremonious capture opportunity of the run, Mr. Fruit gets a Perugly, while I get a Maractus, pure grass type. We capture, and this pairing can actually stay in the team, meaning we're back to 6 Pokemon. I also find another fossil. Still waiting on Mr. Fruit to find one. While this cave has a ton of trainers, nothing of note really happened. Honestly, the biggest thing that happened was me finding out that Soul Rock is not a fire rock Pokemon. Is Soul Rock a fire rock? Or am I about to lose my damn mind?
It would make sense, wouldn't it?
No, why would it make Soul Rock? I don't even care anymore. I don't even care.
How would a rock be floating?
It's a psychic rock. I'm about to, bro.
Guy gets it. This guy gets it.
The rest of the cave doesn't cause too many problems until we get to N, who immediately drops a Kyurem. Let's go with that. A legendary dragon ice Pokemon who is this game's version of Rayquaza. I fought their counterpart at some point during the run, so I knew they had Ancient Power, which is a rock move. We also learned that it has Ice Beam and potentially Dragon Rage or Ice Wind along with Imprison. Most of my Pokemon will take 2x damage from one of these attacks, save for Wartortle. And it's very possible that N will use Hyper Potions to heal. So because you can only use a move so many times, the plan is to stall the Kyurem by making it burn a bunch of its good abilities and just tank them with Protect. For some reason, it spams 10 Ice Beams in a row, and Wartortle eats 9 of them with some healing dished out in between. I send out Simisear to eat the final one, and then swap to Maractus, partly because if they die, none of us are really going to be that devastated, but also because they can spam heal themselves. Kyurem starts spamming Ancient Power, which I'm able to tank and somewhat heal through. And by some miracle, no heals were used by N. And this thing goes down. Arcanine comes out next, handled by Ludicolo and Braviary, although they both eat a lot of damage. Glalie is next, and I am running out of healthy Pokemon, brother. I send out Glaceon since they're my healthiest and tankiest I have remaining, and I use my final heal on Wartortle since they're the tankiest I have overall, hoping that they can deal with the final Pokemon of the match. As soon as Glaceon was at their breaking point, I swapped to Simisear, who I was somewhat confident could tank a hit, and then needed to be first to attack with the Flame Wheel.
Okay.
And now,
Torch him.
we Prage.
Rage. I'm Praging. This should kill.
Okay.
Nice.
Good move, good
Okay, and
move.
they're going to low roll. Watch this.
Good move. Give me something weak.
Gonna be
Quilava!
Okay. Oh, and you healed the Wartortle. Oh, yeah, baby.
Oh, you cannot ask for a better ending,
Oh.
baby. With N being defeated, I leave the cave, head to the Pokemon Center outside, and take a giant sigh of relief. We enter Route 7 and get a new capture opportunity, Huntail for me and Larvitar for Mr. Fruit. The highest level we can see in this run is 54, if we make it that far. Larvitar doesn't evolve into Tyranitar until after that, but the randomizer has a tool built in that allows for some early leveling to happen. I run across the balance beam and run into something I had joked about earlier, but apparently is real. There are triple battles in this game? They all rotate around on these discs and stuff, all right. Fortunately, 2 of the 3 are Bingles, and the trainer in this battle just rotates their Pokemon after every move, so not a big deal. We make our way to the Celestial Tower, which reminds me of the tower in Lavender Town from the first games where all the dead Pokemon are, or whatever was going on back then. Do all Pokemon games have something like this, or did we just happen to play the only other one that has it? Also, apparently there are wild battles in here too, and I run into Pansage for a capture opportunity. And Mr. Fruit finds...
Small price to pay to protect America.
Oh, that is a bingle. Toss him in the bank. Mr. Fruit immediately runs into Reshiram next. I run into a Zekrom outside. What could have been? I continue my way up the tower without much issue. I do run into Latios during a trainer battle, which makes me nervous, but a swap to Wartortle with Eviolite keeps me pretty safe. I ring the bell, and I fly the hell out of there. Most of the gym isn't too bad either, even running into this Tyranitar. My Pokemon are getting strong enough now to the point where I don't feel like it's as stressful to make decisions. I'm also getting a bit more in tune with the game that I'm able to move pretty quickly and without much hassle. And that's exactly what happens in the gym battle too. Ferroseed into Diglett into Bunnyary. That's a layup, man. That's straight show business. Gym number 6 is done. We continue our way to the 7th gym, and I get Surf, who I immediately teach to my Blastoise. Since we beat the 6th gym, we can now go as high as level 39, so Wartortle evolved. New ability? It's called Bad Dreams. It's not very good. We get a new capture opportunity in Porygon and Alomomola. Yeah, yet another water type. However, as Mr. Fruit hops into his inventory, Porygon plays a red card when hit below half health. Red card immediately removes you from the fight, but because this is a wild encounter, the fight just ends. So we can't capture anymore. Great.
Wait.
1 damage. What'd you do? What happened? Did you kill it? Did you capture it?
We were talking, and
Did you kill it?
did I kill it?
I'm gonna catch mine anyway. But
Wait.
you didn't even nickname it, nothing. It like
Wait. Oh, what? Oh, I didn't. It had a red card.
what the hell is a red card?
If you're holding the item and you go below half health, you'll swap with a Pokemon. But if it's a wild Pokemon, they just escape.
So do you get to re-encounter or is that just it?
That's it.
Well, then I'm killing this fool. Making my way through the mines is mostly uneventful, except when this Beartic shows up and gets this close to murdering my Simisear. Despite how many times we've said we don't care about this pair, they are somehow not only still alive, but somehow also still in the party. 1 swap later, it's no big deal. We find a vending machine and I load up on lemonades. One of the best healing items in the game, healing 80 HP. It only costs 350 Pokedollars. I get 50. I will get more later. I will not get through even half of what I buy. We get out of this area and get to Isiris City. I hope I'm saying that correctly. Upon reaching the city, we have an opportunity for another capture. Mr. Fruit runs into yet another legendary Tornadus. How many he's run into at this point, I have lost count. So after healing, I go for my encounter, and...
Oh, just in this water. Okay.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm just
scared.
like,
I'm scared. It's a bingle!
We just can't have nice. Dang.
I don't even know what this is. What is this thing? I chuck a ball at it, I capture it. Ironically, it has the ability Illuminate, which you would think with the name of this Pokemon being Illumise, it would have. No, it doesn't. Mr. Fruit surgically brings this Tornadus down to 1 HP over the course of 10 minutes, but runs out of Ultra Balls to try to capture. He finds a timer ball in his bag, which gets better the longer a fight has gone on, and this one has gone on. He chucks it.
Just, oh my god. Okay, now I'm worried. Got away safe. Oh my god. You got it?
And a timer ball. That's cool. Okay. Let's go.
Another legendary, but not one that will find its way into our team for the time being. We find an individual willing to pay double the price for gems in this Pokemon Center, and I unload a total of 70 grand worth of items onto him. This will not be the final time I interact. Route 8 is just around the corner, which means yet another capture opportunity. And what feels like for the millionth time, but actually isn't, I find a Golduck. A water, but not psychic, Pokemon. Mr. Fruit finds Electivire, one of, I believe, 2 electric Pokemon that have even been capturable this entire run, with the first one dying within 30 minutes of capture shut up. We get both. They're not joining the party. Dragon Spiral Tower is another unique location for another capture. We hop into the water instead of the grass because it's our first time being able to get into the water. Mr. Fruit finds Emboar. Awesome. Amazing. I find...
Oh. Yo, we got some hits over here, brother. Now, come on. Don't let me down.
I can't find anything.
Anytime. There we go.
It's a Bingle! Fortunately, this Bingle can evolve into something half decent, and we end up capturing them as well. What do we find in the grass? You know, just for fun. Registeel for me, Victini for Mr. Fruit. Should have just went in the grass. At this point, we realize that we have a new stockpile of Pokemon in the bank, and we want to see if we can make any changes. So Mr. Fruit spends, 30 minutes trying to find a 6th Pokemon roster that might improve the squad. And he does while I evolve the Bingle I just caught into Roselia. The new team drops Ludicolo, Simisear, and Maractus for Roselia, Throh, and Dusclops, paired with Mr. Fruit's Emboar, Golett, soon to be evolved Golurk, and Slugma turned Magcargo. I'll miss Ludicolo as they were very versatile, but I'm not losing sleep over Simisear. There's just one problem. You see, we saved the ability reveal for the recording. After all, when Pokemon evolve, they get a new ability. Dusclops gets Synchronize. Pretty great to have. Dusclops is paired with Magcargo. Magcargo gets...
Now Magcargo, which...
Did you forget that's Truant? You forgot it's Truant.
No, it just evolved. This is the ability check.
Oh my god. Wait, so now you have 2 Mons with Truant.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the 30 minutes that you just spent, we might have to recalibrate.
Yeah. Whole point was I was throwing him on the team to give Datto Dusclops, who is one of the tankiest Pokemon in terms of equally defense, special defense, with Eviolite comes in near 200 base power, only beaten by, you guessed it, Shuckle.
So this pair needs to get swapped for something else entirely. Before that, though, a new capture opportunity in the moors of Isiris. In what ends up being an insanely lucky moment, my first encounter is against a Slowking, who I used to have, but I don't have anymore. Much like Glaceon, It's my choice of whether or not I want to recapture it or if I want to, and I immediately leave the encounter because I'm just on autopilot. Had that been anything else, we would have lost the opportunity to capture there. Chance number 2 finds Flaffy, who evolves into Ampharos, who's pretty good. This is my first electric Pokemon that I can maybe capture. Mr. Fruit finds Scraggy, who will evolve into Scrafty very soon. We capture both. Fortunately, the Dusclops Magcargo team was our wildcard team, meaning they could be swapped somewhat freely, and we bring in this new duo. Ampharos gets pressure, which makes the enemy PP usage increase. Grow up. During this time, I also found a Comet Shard. I sell the old man in the Pokemon Center for 60 grand, on top of another for another 10 grand. I have over $150,000. Getting through the gym trainer battles weren't too bad. Until this. Psybeam. Oh, they used... Oh my god. Not quite death, but close enough to continue making me second guess every decision I ever make. The 7th gym battle begins. Pokemon number 1, Meowth, dead. Number 2, Scraggy, dead. Number 3, Mamoswine, very much alive. I send out Throw, fighting type, which is good against ice, which Mamo is. Throw takes a big hit right off the rip. I heal, they're just hit again for the exact same amount of damage. I just wasted a heal. They have a move called Revenge, which hits really hard, but I am almost guaranteed to go second, which means a crit from Mamoswine will kill me. I opt for Blastoise because Mamo is ice and ground. I am then immediately frozen, and I am forced to use my second heal, the only full restore that I own. After that, a Surf almost brings it down completely, and I finish the job one turn later. That's a little sketchy, but that's badge number 7. We go to Dragon Spiral Tower to deal with Team Plasma. The only real scary thing ended up being this Raikou. Roselia, now evolved, has a lot of special defense, who is able to tank their special moves without too much hassle. I'm generally worried about my weaker defense Pokemon, since I don't want them to get one-shot. Even in situations like this, where I'm 8 levels higher, and I'm fighting a Pokemon that is not effective against my typing. I am generally worried about my weaker defense Pokemon. After some story progression, Bianca requests a battle, but even on-level Pokemon aren't a big deal to me anymore. Clefable, Sudowoodo, Carablast, and Vespiquen, who has to be the most commonly fought Pokemon of the run, all go down no problem. At this point, we go on a capture spree, since Surf enables us to access routes previously inaccessible to us. So what do we get? Chandelure and Electros, Tortuga and Wingull, Bingle and Dodrio, Ipom and Medicham. We both grab some eggs that turn into Pidgeot and Ralts to evolve into Gardevoir, Mamoswine and Nidoran to become Nidoqueen, Voltorb and Weepinbell, Raichu and Dugtrio, Bagon to become Salamence and Trubbish to become, I don't know, Garbomon, whatever the hell it's called, Sunflora and Primeape. We do find a Bastiodon and a Conkeldurr, but...
Don't, please.
It wasn't me! Let's go! Alright, bye, Conkeldurr. And and Reuniclus. There you go. Reuniclus and what will be a Tangrowth. We rebalance the team as a result. I'm not going to get too deep into the rebalance, as after this moment, total chaos ensues. In between recordings, my Roserade is killed, which means Emboar is gone as well. I was attempting to escape the grass by running through it when I got put into a double battle against 2 very high attack Pokemon in Seviper and Pawniard. If you remember from earlier, I said I was worried about my Pokemon being mostly low defense Pokemon. And let's just say life comes at you quick.
Now I have to press record to show the good people what happened. I go pee.
I'm trying to leave the grass. I'm trying to get out. To just go back. We find these. I double heal. We're full health. Try to escape. Can't escape. But I'm double paralyzed. And they killed me. And I couldn't escape. I don't even know who to send in. All of these guys are physical.
I went
I have
went
no
pee.
defense.
I came back and I'm like, all right, I have a couple
know,
Hershey Kisses.
I
I was excited to
know.
eat some chocolate.
I know.
And then it's a, huh?
All of these guys have terrible defense. And both of these guys are physical and they just honed in.
This random guy. Why? What are we? It's like 20 minutes, man.
I know. I'm trying to get out of this.
Oh.
Oh my God. It hurt itself in confusion. It hurt itself in confusion. Psychic this fool. Bing Gull, get out. That's the wrong one. Pokemon.
Another Pokemon dies down.
I'm taking it out.
Going
Coming out.
to
And we're
lose
going to
it.
psychic this fool and it's dead. Never mind. It gets a crunch on me. Don't
Oh
die.
my.
It's dark. It has dark moves.
Would die to a crit. Oh my God.
I'm never going to double grass ever again. What's really annoying is that I keep forgetting I can just use fly whenever I want to go back to heal, but because I can put the game into hyperspeed, I never think about it. Then Mr. Fruit gets into a trainer battle against a Hitmonchan, and it doesn't go well. Without thinking, he sends in a Pidgeot, normally fine, except this guy's Ice Punch. VOD watchers like skip forward, brother. I'm sorry. What just happened? What just happened? What just happened?
I got
Clip it.
crit.
Clip it. Somebody clip.
Oh my God, my game crashed. I don't know what I said.
Yeah, down goes my Gardevoir as well. We rebalance the team again and head into the 8th gym, with most of the trainer battles being, not too bad. At the gym leader, Mr. Fruit finds, oh, Reshiram. It starts well, he almost one-shots it, but it heals twice and Giratina gets paralyzed. He swaps in Electrode, thinking that a Swift will do the job.
You should be faster. You are. Doug, my goat.
Yeah, I have no grounds.
Doug, you suck.
What happened? What happened? Oh, Doug is dead. Who's Doug paired with?
I give Doug the easiest layup. Boom. Like a head off the backboard. Like, who was that with? Weeping Bell. All right.
Okay, I'm not that devastated. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not that devastated. If there's someone that could have gone out, it was Weeping Bell. Electrode's partner was Weeping Bell, who I don't really care too much about at all, and promptly throw into my fight to die, as it accomplishes almost nothing before doing so.
What is
And
she
I'm gonna just send a slam. How did you avoid, man? Weeping Bell sucks. Good. I don't even care. You suck. 3 attacks avoided.
I got a Master Ball. Let's go.
Nice. Both of the fights end unceremoniously, and we have our final gym badge. We heal up and head out, but our rival wants one more fight before we go to Victory Road. Up until recently, I didn't have too much issue with rock Pokemon, but my Blastoise had to be rotated out, and now Primeape is truly my only answer to rock. The first 2 Pokemon go down, no problem. The Primeape is paralyzed, and I'm running low on heals and PP for its only solid move. One of my heals was a Lemonade, but I really should have just full restored to get rid of the paralysis. I swap in Garbodor to try to poison and bail. And for the second time this run, that exact plan is immediately punished again. Okay. The clock is running.
For who, though?
It crit.
Oh my God, myself.
It crit. I have nothing for rock. I have nothing.
Oh, you have a Primeape.
Yes, who is paralyzed and has no PP left.
I liked it when I didn't have to change the overlay so much. Editing these is,
He didn't crit me a single time, and then Garbodor comes out. I'm sending him in and full restore. Yeah, so much for Garbodor's kind of tanky, huh, Mr. Fruit? Mr. Fruit's Salamence is now gone, who he just taught a bunch of TMs to. He keeps getting insanely strong Pokemon paired with my absolutely, and in an ironic twist of fate, literal garbage Pokemon. I feel bad, but let's just say there's a reason that Glaceon, despite arguably being one of my best Pokemon, never sees the light of day. I bring Primate back out, full restore it like I should have, and punch the lights out of the rest of the Pokemon in the battle. Again, I forget that I can fly and accidentally run into another trainer who hits me with Altaria and Lugia back to back.
Does somebody on your team have fly?
Someone on my team have fly? Yes, I think. Braviary?
So you mean to tell me you got into another battle, another instance, because you didn't fly back to the city? This Lugia is your own fault.
When I have literal the Flash hyperspeed, it is literally faster for me to just zoom there. Somehow managed to win that one. Part of the reason it has felt like things have gone to crap recently is because we've hit the level 40 threshold. At level 40, in this version of the randomizer we're playing, you'll only see the most evolved forms of Pokemon, meaning getting easy fights is going to be much rarer. This is where a lot more planning and knowledge really start to come into play. Unfortunately for me, I don't have that much of a plan, and I certainly don't have that much knowledge. But we've made it to Victory Road. One Solrock and Basculin capture later, we find the first trainer battle. Mine? It's uneventful. Mr. Fruits? The run might end right now. He's fighting Mamoswine. Super high attack, high HP, ice ground, you've seen him before. Mr. Fruit has almost no answers to Mamoswine, and he literally has a Mamoswine. He tries to bait a different attack by switching, and his Caracosta is immediately blasted away anyway. My Pelipper, gone.
Oh no. What happened? Oh no.
I'm getting swept by Mamoswine. My highest defense. Not even a crit.
Just one-shotted?
One-shotted.
Mr. Fruit decides to go band for band and brings out his own Mamoswine equipped with Choice Band. This item makes it so you can only choose one attack for an entire battle, but it greatly boosts its power, and its ability is Adaptability, boosting it even more. The problem is that the trainer is faster, so if their attack does more than half HP, that's no good. And it does. And then it's Mr. Fruit's turn. And, oh my god, you win this though, you win this.
Come on,
Choice
Band, Adaptability. Come on.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Ain't
literally one.
Literally anyone on my team will die to this dude. Super effective, super effective, super effective. One shot from a crate.
He needs to send someone in who is faster or tankier to tank a hit and finish the job. Giratina is sent in thinking that Mamoswine will just Earthquake again, but he is read like a damn book, and Mamoswine uses Ice Fang. Very bad. But
he's reading me.
Okay.
That wasn't even a crit. Oh,
rough skin. Oh my god, dude.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
That was the first mon. That was the first mon of Victory Road.
After heading back out to recover and do another encounter that we missed, resulted in a Nuzlocke for Mr. Fruit and a Skitty for myself, we continue on our path through Victory Road. I find my 5th fossil, and both myself and Mr. Fruit find some Master Balls on the ground. While most of the trainers weren't too big of a deal, the doctor, who would heal my Pokemon if I win, might have been a spy in disguise because I think they wanted to kill me. Braviary versus this friggin' ice cream cone. Ice is good against flying, so let's swap.
I mean, I honestly, I think Ludicolo could just tank it.
They can't be switched out. They cannot be switched out. This is bad. Braviary must fight the ice cream cone. Round 1, Slash versus Acid Armor. Okay, that's fine. And here's the Ice Beam.
Your anchor?
Literally my anchor. Ice.
Oh,
my
brother.
god.
Okay, not more than half. Oh.
The only way I escape this battle alive is with a crit.
Crit? Yeah! Oh my god, ain't no way! There ain't no way! Oh my god. I'm bogging out of my mind, dude.
Oh my god.
I cannot believe it. Kangaskhan is also a threat, Not as big of one. At least I can heal now. We wander aimlessly around Victory Road, finding the final capture opportunity we'll have before the Elite Four, and I find my 6th fossil. The capture results in a polygraph for myself, whereas Mr. Fruit finds a Metagross, a very rare roll, where we both land on something good, although it's a little more good for Mr. Fruit. Eventually, we make it out and start planning our Elite Four team. We level up, teach TMs, while using a custom tool that someone from Mr. Fruit's audience made to try to find the most well-rounded teams we could possibly have. And we landed on this. Mr. Fruit gets Scrafty paired with my Ampharos, who I teach Zap Cannon to as a desperation move. Mr. Fruit's Golurk paired with my Throw, who has now learned Superpower. Mr. Fruit's Mamoswine with my Nidoqueen, who I taught Venoshock, although without a way to poison an enemy. Newly captured Metagross and Poliwrath joined the team, with Poliwrath being taught Slack Off, Vital Throw, and Waterfall. Giratina and Glaceon stay in the team. You should know them by now. And finally, Jumpluff and Dodrio, which seems like an insane combo to bring along, but we're doing it. We're doing it. Dodrio was taught Hyper Fang and Horn Leech from my TMs. Mr. Fruit's team is significantly stronger than mine. While we both have our strengths and weaknesses, his team has much higher highs to work with compared to mine. So, as you might suspect, a lot of the time going forward will be spent on my fights, as Mr. Fruit's, while occasionally eventful, are not nearly as eventful as mine. We stock up on potions, and off we go. No turning back, 4 fights in a row, 4 Pokemon per fight, no Pokemon Center in between. Let's go. I one-shot a Floatzel. After he gets full restored, Cresselia is next, who is super tanky. Hyper Fang maybe dents her, but that's it, and Future Sight is coming. Dodrio has great attack and terrible everything else. They cannot tank both a hit and Future Sight. I rotate to Ampharos, who has decent special defense, to eat the Future Sight, and my Rocky Helmet triggers on their Slash. A second full restore is used, so they are out of healing now. I paralyze to give myself a better chance and eventually heal myself to keep up the pace. I keep sending discharges, and they drop. The remaining 2 Pokemon in Dugong and Garbodor are no problem. That's 1 down, 3 to go. Mr. Fruit's battle, on the other hand, had one moment of terror. Dragonite versus Giratina, where Dragonite hits with Dragon Rush crazy hard, but can't do flying. I could do fighting.
That wasn't a crate. Oh my! Please die.
I could do fighting. Because fighting is good against ice, as we've learned.
That's why Cookie's #1, baby. Oh, holy suck. I want you to know, either if any move I've been hit by this entire game has been a crit, I get one shot. This is wild.
Battle number 2. Dodrio and Crawdaunt just smash each other over the head with baseball bats, but Dodrio comes out on top thanks to Horn Leech. Their Probopass is met with my Nidoqueen's Earth Power, which takes it out in one shot. Sunflora is handled quickly as well thanks to Fly and Venoshock, and Pelipper is handled by Ampharos without issue. Mr. Fruit's battle is slightly more eventful, but not by much, handling Armaldo, Seaking, Weavile, and Linoon pretty quickly. 2 down, 2 to go. Now, you might be looking at this run so far and thinking that we're cruising to an easy victory. I want you to take that thought. I want you to take it. I want you to pretend it's on a sheet of paper and then crumple it up and then throw it into a fire. Because here's the third battle. Dodrio takes out Livani, we'll go with that, with 1 Drill Peck. In comes Hydreigon, a pseudo-legendary with strong all-around stats. It is a Dark Dragon type, which does not leave me with a ton of options, in addition to being a special attack monster. I swap to Poliwrath, and I start punching, but it starts using Work Up, boosting both its attack and special attack. One of these is doable. And then in comes the second. Even if another one comes in and I attack, I will not kill this thing, and it's just going to be full restored. I am in massive trouble. Out comes a Dragon Pulse. If we even live this. I do not know what to do anymore.
Okay. Okay, you're getting swept. Okay.
And things are looking bleak. Run ending bleak. I send out Ampharos to try to slow this thing down with a Thunder Wave, but in comes another Dragon Pulse. Knowing that we're going to sacrifice Ampharos so that another Pokemon gets a turn, the game paralyzes Hydreigon. I full heal my own Ampharos, who is immediately hit with another attack, bringing me to 6. But this was a physical attack, which triggers Rocky Helmet. Normally this would be good, but unfortunately that damage brings it to the health range that the AI will attempt to heal. In response, I send a 50-50 chance Zap Cannon to try to re-paralyze and do some amount of damage. And...
All right. Praise. Come on, baby. You did it once.
Fuller Star.
Oh, that's
It hits. It hits. It hits. It hits.
No, it doesn't matter anymore.
It para. It always para, Mr. Fruit. Zap Cannon always para. My instinct is to send a discharge, hope for the best, say 07, and then send in throw and try and punch him in the mouth.
All right. I couldn't have at least used Dragon Rush.
Now here's the thing. How many of those has they used? 3? How many PP is that? Is that a 5 PP move total, or is that a 10?
Dragon Ball is maybe 15 or 20.
15 or 20 in this economy? In comes throw. We didn't think that Superpower would one-shot Hydreigon at full HP, but now that it's a little weaker, we believe it can finish the job. And it does. Outside of sending in Glaceon, this was one of our only ways out. Hydreigon was maybe a few damage away from completely wiping my team with one-shots, and if throw didn't go first, it might have been over. But in case that wasn't enough, in comes Latias, a dragon psychic type with high special defense. Glaceon is literally our only hope. My worst nightmare is losing Glaceon, but it is obvious that if there's a time, it's right now. I go to switch.
Holy suck.
Duke cannot be switched out.
No.
Latias has an ability that prevents swapping. Throw barely puts a dent into Latias before they perish. And in comes Glaceon. To be fair to Glaceon, their stats are impressive. High defense, high special defense, and very high special attack. It's just that their moves, they're not very strong, with something like Icy Wind only having 55 power. The Icy Wind spam begins, gradually slowing Latias down so that I go first. Full Restore is used on Latias, but I have no choice. I just need to send it.
Very least, -2 speed, you might outspeed enough. Okay, there you go. Long have we awaited. Yukon activated. Let's go. Now, what garbage do they have that's going to send out the counter you can't swap out of this time?
It's going to send out throw.
Okay,
Skarmory.
Well, you're weak to steel.
In case that wasn't enough, Skarmory comes in next. Skarmory is a steel Pokemon. Steel is super effective against ice, but it's also flying, so Nidoqueen is terrible against it. Dodrio has no defense, and Skarmory has super high physical defense, so Glaceon must stay. But for some reason, some unknown reason, it uses 0 steel moves, instead opting for slashes, which I'm easily able to tank. Skarmory goes down to Icy Wind. Battle 3 over, but I only have 3 Pokemon left. Mr. Fruit's battle took maybe 1 minute with no struggle, but he is now without Scrafty, Golurk, and Metagross going into the next battle. My full team is Dodrio, Nidoqueen, and Glaceon, a Glass Cannon, an average stat Pokemon, and a Pokemon that has enabled Giratina to exist for the entire run. It's real bad. I do one thing before the final battle. I give Dodrio an item called Choice Band. You heard me mention this earlier. This item makes it so when I pick a move with a Pokemon, I can only use that move, but its damage is increased by 50%, in this case, attack damage. If Dodrio is going to hit something, it needs to hit it as hard as possible.
Like, we have to make plays to win, not to not lose. And so now I just have to send everything that I have.
Do it.
And, like, all the best thing, I got to put it on. I'll just send Hyper Fangs the whole time. Like, where is this thing? Choice Band.
Yep. 50% attack increase.
Yep.
YOLO.
Have to.
Horn Leech also heals me a bit to keep me alive. This is purely a desperation move. I need to try everything I possibly can to win. I start my fight versus Golem. Golem, super high defense, but it's slow as hell, and it's weak to grass moves twice as a rock ground Pokemon, 4x effectiveness on Horn Leech, one shot. Gyarados comes out next, water flying, which means Horn Leech will do normal damage. And normal it is, dealing less than half. Gyarados hits a Dragon Dance, boosting their attack and speed, revving up that one-shot engine. It needs to die. Now. I hit it again, and it makes it rain on the field. But I bring it to heal range, and it's hit with a full restore. But I literally have no choice. I must full send. Horn Leech, send it. Crit. Second full restore used. Horn Leech. They react with another Dragon Dance. +2 attack, +2 speed. The only way I win is if I outspeed Gyarados. 1 PP left on the Horn Leech. Send it.
And if he has some physical water move, it is raining. Which is, but hey, guess what? Doesn't matter. Oops, Choice Band, Horn Leech, let's get it.
Send it. We're faster.
Let's go, weird man. Ah, yeah. Dodrio, baby, from the top. Who would have guessed it?
And the rain stopped.
Who would have guessed?
And I think, no, the ability, the swift swim.
Oh,
I'm faster in the rain. Okay,
You're in
this
trouble.
is ground
Let's-
steel. Jesus Christ, everything is
Guess
steel.
what?
I
Guess
feel like
what?
I'm fighting the regular Mons of this guy.
Excadrill comes out next. A ground steel with super high attack. Dodrio will not survive an attack, and they themselves cannot even attack, as Horn Leech is out of power, and Choice Band prevents me from doing anything else. They must be swapped in and out before I can choose a new move. Nidoqueen and Glaceon both take 2x damage from this Pokemon. Glaceon is far too valuable, so in comes Nidoqueen, and they use Swords Dance, giving it +2 attack. Nidoqueen is far too slow and is immediately killed. Thinking that Dodrio is merely fodder, I have to send in Glaceon. They use Sandstorm, which lets me get a little bit of damage onto them, but that's all they'll do, as they are one-shotted by an Earthquake on the next turn. I considered using an Ether to restore Horn Leech to full power, thinking that I would survive an attack, but I don't. The only Pokemon I have left is a Dodrio, which has no PP in its most powerful move, in which its other two biggest and best moves are both resisted by Excadrill. Not all runs make it to the end. Some runs make it to the finish line, easily sprint past it, sure. But many others, the ones you typically don't see posted online, the ones that should be dropped immediately into the recycle bin and remembered as a small footnote in a much bigger document, you don't see those. And they outnumber the runs that make it probably, 100 to 1? The game doesn't care how far you made it. Hell, it doesn't even know that you're playing with some special custom rules that only a small subsector of the internet even knows about. It just decides that it's over for you. And it says, why don't you run that one back? This run didn't sprint across the finish line. It didn't finish with a clean sweep. So, let's see how it ends. In the spirit of actually trying to win, I pop the only max elixir that I got in the entire run. Excadrill preps their final attack.
There's just no way.
Oh! And it misses. It prepared a Horn Drill and it misses. Horn Drill is an instant kill if it hits, but its accuracy is only 30%, although I didn't know this at the time, thinking that it was just another typical steel move. And there's only one thing left to do. You send it.
Oh, crit! Let's go!
Oh my
Oh my god! They have Lucario, I forgot.
It's okay, but hey, why don't we just take a win for a second?
The final Pokemon, Lucario, Fighting Steel. It takes half damage from grass. I'm locked to Horn Leech anyway, so it doesn't even matter. Send it.
It's freaking
Horn Leech.
Come on, my dude.
It's not very effective at all.
But what? No, stop, fine.
Hey, you know what? If we can
Freaking suck.
Quick Guard.
Dropped on my.
Oh!
What?
Crit! Crit! It was a crit! It was a crit! It was a crit! It was a
What
crit!
is this, dude?
It was a crit.
I dropped my nerds gummy cluster.
I can only Horn Leech. That's it. Quick Guard.
Freaking come on. Dude, all right, new favorite Pokemon. I never want to hear anybody disrespected Dodrio ever again. That's my goal. Oh my god.
Oh my god!
I'm not worthy.
Dodrio did it. After all that, the only Pokemon standing is Dodrio. Why did Lucario use Quick Guard 2 times in a row? The only explanation I can even guess is that from levels 24 to 47, it learns several non-attacking moves. The last attack it learns was Bone Rush at level 19, learning a new attacking move at level 51. This one, it's level 50. I'll never know if they actually had any real moves at all. Maybe I was never in danger to begin with, but none of that mattered now. The only problem is that I had one Pokemon left going into what I thought would be the final fight of the game. You see, in the olden times, after you fought the Elite Four, you went up against your rival immediately after, which is what I thought would happen here. Dodrio does not get through the rival battle on their own, so the run would probably be over. But that's not the case here. In Pokemon Black and White, you get the opportunity to not only fully heal your Pokemon before the final battle, you can physically leave this area and go do other things, which means that we can completely rebuild our team. And that's what we do.
Oh my god.
My man.
I cannot believe this. We can access a PC. I am so used to Elite Four. You fight the champion, game over.
Yeah. Well, thank God it's not this one. Holy.
Mr. Fruit finally finds a fossil. He goes to the defossilizer and gets another Tyranitar. But it's paired with my Stantler, so nothing doing there. The new team is as follows. For myself, Braviary, Huntail, Electros, Primeape, Simisear, and Ludicolo. While they do feel a bit more well-rounded, I'm still not exactly working with the cream of the crop. Mr. Fruit's team is Rhydon, Sunflora, Ledybus, Steelix, Tyranitar, and Chandelure. Definitely not as strong as his previous, but at least he's got Tyranitar to rely on a little bit. We stock up and roll out for the battle with N, a grueling 6 Pokemon long fight. But here, we get our final capture encounter. Mr. Fruit gets Combuskin. I hope I'm saying that right. And I get Oshawott.
Come on.
It's a Bingle!
Oh.
They do not make it onto the team. My fight starts pretty easy. Swanna is the first one up, and they get clocked by Electros, although they do get some hits in on me. And then they send out Golurk, as if its ghost is haunting us from the previous fight. Ground Ghost, very high attack. Electros will die 100%.
So I swap to Huntail, thinking that its high defense will allow me to tank a hit in order to get in a water move. Its defense, it's not that good, and it takes a lot of damage, so I gotta pivot. Braviary is immune to ground attacks, so I make the swap. Aerial Ace does some damage, but this thing curses me, making it so I lose 1/4 of my health every turn until I swap Pokemon. And he full restores, preventing me from killing it. I swap to Ludicolo, and they use Heavy Slam, which deals damage based on the weight difference of the two Pokemon. It crits. I take a lot of damage. I swap back to Braviary, thinking it'll use Earthquake, which it does. I heal Braviary, but they hit me for half health. We go blow for blow, and we're both super weak. I need them to not heal. Otherwise, it's over. And fortunately, they don't. 2 down. They send out Audino. Finally, some relief from the pressure. High health, but not much going on otherwise, and they have slow start. I swap to Primeape to cross-chop. This Audino proves effective. They go down easy, but in comes Rampardos, a rock Pokemon with insanely high attack. I need Primeape to not only go first, not only hit with cross-chop, but to one-shot it.
How's your speed?
97 speed.
I think we definitely outspeed. They have terrible defense, brother. I'm talking 60.
F it, we ball.
Big hit.
Yes, one shot, one kill. Yes,
And a
sir.
crit.
Maybe it mattered, maybe it didn't.
Don't
Let's
know.
pretend it did.
Don't know, don't
Baller.
care.
Unpheasant comes out, a flying Pokemon who proves no match for Electros. That's 5 down. Infernape comes out, firefighting with good attack stats and speed. Water makes sense here. Flying makes sense here. All of my Pokemon are on death's door. Swapping to any of them results in death, except for maybe Simisear. Simisear goes out and is immediately punched in the face, really hard. The decision is made to sacrifice it, to get a heal and a good swap onto Braviary. And Braviary one-shots it to end the battle. Had it not been for Mr. Fruit already being done with his battle, I thought that this would have been the end. No. There is a second fight immediately after with Getsis, who I'll be honest with you, not sure who they are, because I haven't followed the story at all. But they're the real final boss. My Pokemon do get a free heal, but Simisear is out. Scolipede is sent out first, who is clobbered by Braviary, but is badly poisoned in the process. Gigalith comes out. Gigalith, what a name. So Braviary is getting swapped out anyway. There's a couple ways to handle this, but I send in Ludicolo in an attempt to one-shot it with Surf. Stone Edge hits me for a ton of damage, so I really just need to hope that Surf one-shots it, because I'm definitely faster than a freaking mountain.
It's back. Click surf. Do it.
Yeah, Mega Drain is only 40 base. Boom. 2. That's 2 down. Whimsicott comes out next, a grass Pokemon, high speed, mid-tier everything else. I swap to Electros to tank some damage while I heal up Braviary so that they can knock them out. I succeed in this, but Braviary takes a lot of damage in the process. Then comes Archeops. Rock flying, very high damage, very high speed. I send in Primeape to tank a hit and hopefully goad the AI into using a flying move while I swap to Electros, since flying moves not great against electric. This plan does not work, as they just full send Rock Slide. I almost die in the process. I full restore my Electros, which is my second heal. No more healing for now. But Archeops uses U-turn, where they get to both hit me and swap to a different Pokemon, bringing out Nidoking, ruining my entire plan in the process. Nidoking will definitely use a ground move, so I need to swap. Braviary could have gone in to dodge a ground move, but I send in Primeape for reasons I'll explain soon. Primeape dies trying to get an attack off. I thought it was faster than Nidoking. It wasn't. I send in Huntail, who has, again, a lot of defense, but I had been told that there was no way that they would survive an Earth Power. I send them in, and we're going blow for blow. We're both hurt. A huge prediction is now made. They have 1 heal remaining, and I have regained 2 heals since one of my Pokemon died. We trade heals, and I heal up Ludicolo, and I swap them in. Nidoking starts thrashing. very high damage, but they must use it multiple times in a row, and then they confuse themselves. I must survive this damage. I survive the damage. I burn my second heal, and I take down Nidoking. Archeops comes back, and they're full health. Archeops, just correct me. I kept Eelektross as healthy as I could for them to be my finisher. I swapped to Braviary, thinking that they will be the least useful for the rest of the fight to give Eelektross a chance against this Pokemon. Braviary dies, and my heals are restored again. Here is where I make a very grievous error. At this point in the fight, I thought Archeops was the final Pokemon remaining. I had lost track over this excruciatingly long fight. Archeops was not the final Pokemon remaining, and my plan hinged on them being the final Pokemon remaining.
Back up. He will Piccolo.
Okay. U-turn. Fine.
Okay.
We live that.
Okay.
We live
I'm
that.
gonna hit him with the... What? Wait, he has more? Wait, what is this?
I thought it was over. I thought it was over.
You're just gonna tell me this now?
I thought it was over.
There's icons. Why wouldn't you tell me this?
They haven't been popping up.
What?
They have not been popping up.
What?
They have not been popping up.
It's right there, my guy. It's right above fight.
I'm so used to them popping up above the Pokemon's name. I don't look over here. Young Datto's Pokemon experiences strike one more time. Braviary would have been amazing here, but they're gone. I sacrificed Primeape a while back during the Nidoking part because I thought that they would be the least useful in the remainder of the fight, using them to get back more heals. I heal Eelektross, but they hit me with Superpower, and I go right back to where I started. But Throw's defense is now reduced. I heal Ludicolo with my second full restore, and Eelektross lives another punch. Throw's defense is in the gutter. I send in Ludicolo to deal with Throw, and he is just barely able to keep up, knocking out Throw. Archeops is the final Pokemon that stands between me and victory. It is time to sacrifice another Pokemon for more heals, and Huntail appears to be the least effective Pokemon I have for the situation. I send them out to pasture and restore another 2 heals. Ludicolo does the same, send them in, heal, die. The run is now down to Archeops versus Eelektross. Send it. There's nothing else to send other than discharge. Nothing else.
Oh! Good start. Especially because Rock Slide can flinch. Oh, that's just what we needed the whole time. Yes!
It's over.
Yeah, we did it. We did it. Oh.
It's over.
Where were you? Oh my God. Fruit the 4th on the 9th. With Datto. Oh my God.
I'm sorry that took so long, viewers. I'm so sorry, but I had no confidence. This has given me an all new appreciation for how difficult this is, but also how much more enjoyable the game can be when you actually have to like think about stuff. From being on the brink of defeat multiple times to Nuzlocke winners. Was it clean? No. Did I have to sacrifice every Pokemon to heal cheese my way through it? Yeah. Did I require an extreme amount of guidance from my friend who basically coasted through their side of the fight? Yeah. But we both got through it. We're done. 51 hours logged in this game across 40 parts. We are done. I want to thank everyone who watched along the way, whether it was live or on Mr. Fruit's Pokemon channel. If you do want to watch the full series, I put a link to it in the description. Maybe I'll try my own solo run one day, but I think I'm taking a little breather for now. I've learned a lot about the game. This was a lot of fun to not only play, but also create. So it wouldn't surprise me if I did another one at some point in the future. But for now, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.